Hello, I'm Susan Douglas, and I'm going to talk to you about using inclusive pedagogies. These are simply ways of teaching and learning that include as many learners as possible. You do not need to be an expert in inclusion or special educational needs to use them. You can try them out and add them over time to your everyday teaching. And you will often find that if you try out a strategy with one learner in mind, it helps other learners too. Inclusive pedagogies work well for everyone. In this video, we will focus on 4 inclusive pedagogies and make suggestions about trying these in your classroom. Firstly, starting from what everyone in the class already knows is an inclusive way to begin new topics or lessons. Doing this means that all of your learners will have something to offer, and existing knowledge is reinforced. In practice, this could be as simple as asking, "What do we know about this topic?" You could also try asking easier questions at the start of a lesson or topic, encouraging answers from learners who need to build their confidence. Next, let's think about how you might present information to your learners. You may know the saying, "Variety is the spice of life." This applies to teaching and learning too. Because learners make sense of information in different ways, it makes sense that you provide it in different ways. For example, you could try building speech, song, images, video, physical movement, touch, and text into your lessons. It's also a good idea to back up one way of presenting information with another one. For example, placing an image with text or making sure a video has captions. Doing this means that everyone has more than one way of accessing and making sense of the information. Remember, it's also important that all the information you present reflects and affirms diversity, both of your classroom and of the wider world. This idea of variety also gives learners choice about showing what they have learned. Posters, role plays, newspaper or online articles, radio shows, songs and presentations are all tried and tested options in giving learners choice about how they show they have reached the learning outcome, and are all great ways of developing language. By planning for variety and choice in your classrooms, you will be differentiating learning. Teachers often think differentiation is about providing lots of different tasks for individual learners. While some individual support will always be needed, a lot of differentiation happens through giving learners multiple ways of taking in, making sense of, and showing their learning. Our final focus in this video is cooperative group learning, which can help learners develop their thinking, expressive, and social skills. Mixing learners into different groups that need to cooperate to learn is an effective way of helping learners get to know each other, as well as learn from each other, and it can really build a strong sense of classroom community. You could try, for example, Number 1, think, pair, share. Here, learners think on their own about a question before joining with another person to discuss their thoughts. This pair then joins with another to form a 4 to discuss further. You could also try this the other way round with groups who know each other well. Start in a 4 for an initial discussion, move to a pair to discuss in more detail, and then think as an individual to arrive at your final answer to a question. Number 2, Envoy. Learners work in small groups on different aspects of a topic. Then one learner from each group visits the other groups in turn to share their group's learning. When they return to their original group, the learners who have been visited teach the returning envoy what they have learned. It will not surprise you that learners may not come to you with perfect group work skills. You may have to build teaching and practicing them into your lessons. One way of doing this is to give each learner a role within a group. For example, scribe, presenter, equipment manager, timer, facilitator, and swap these round so everybody learns each role. For some learners who find group work challenging, you may also want to start by keeping them in the same small group and then slowly increase the size of that group. To summarise, inclusive pedagogies are simply ways of teaching and learning that include as many learners as possible. In this video, we have focused on 4 pedagogies, starting from what learners already know, using a variety of ways to present information, giving choice to learners about how they show their learning, and finally, using cooperative group learning. And to end, here's my top tip. Try one thing at a time. If you can, find a colleague to work with so that you have someone to reflect with. Observe each other if that's possible.